Hello, this is Andy Dubuck, also known as Yidna. I'm the guy that designed these redesigned shocker bodies that are sold through Nummech products. Today I'm going to make a really quick video that shows you how to modify your grip frame to be installed on the marker body. Some grip frames require the modification, but not all. Basically, the way to tell is if your grip frame has the top of it completely all hollowed out like this one. This is a Shocker NXT frame. If it's all hollowed out like this, then chances are you won't need to do any modification and it'll just bolt right on without any trouble. The problem with these bodies is that they have some additional screw heads that are installed on the bottom, and that's because these things are completely redesigned. So if you have an older marker body, or sorry, an older grip frame, like a Shocker SFT frame like this one here, then you can see there's a lot more material. Now this one's been modified ahead of time for something else, but this is basically a good example because what you need to do is drill a little hole that's located in front of that hole right there. And that's because this screw head right there sometimes runs into it. So if you need to do that, then this is all the stuff you need. Basically, we're just gonna drill a hole with a just regular hand drill driver. If you have a drill press, it'll make it a lot easier, but it's not required. And obviously, if you have a mill, then you can do whatever you need. But this is stuff you need. Need some kind of marker or Sharpie to mark the frame. Need the actual drill bit. This is a 1/4 inch. A punch. If you don't have one of these, I recommend go down to the hardware store and pick one up. Please note you want a pointed tip. You don't want one like this. This is for getting out a pin or something. You don't want that. You want it to be pointed so that it actually makes an indentation. And then this over here is a center drill. You can use that if you want, but it's not required. And then of course a hammer and something to measure with. So here's all you need to do. Basically, you need to measure off from the center of the grip frame hole about 5/8 of an inch forward. Make a little mark. I'm try doing this with one hand. So you can make a little mark that's approximately right there. Very small mark. And now take your punch and punch that hole just to make a little indentation. Now what you need to do after that is you need to have like a bench top vise or something to hold the frame, because you need to drill a little tiny indentation through the top. And I don't recommend holding onto it when you drill, because if you do that you're liable to slip and cut your hand. So for that, I'll walk over here. Okay, so over here I have a Colombian style bench vise. It's a pretty common shop tool. I'm going to use this to hold the frame so I can drill the hole. When you clamp anything in one of these vices, you probably want to use a piece of wood or several to hold the component and keep it from getting scratched. You can also use, a piece of plastic or basically whatever you want. This vise has little aluminum covers, but they're not really the best for keeping things scratched. So I'm going to vise this in and be back in a second. Alright, so now I've got the frame clamped inside the vise. Pretty tight. Squeeze. So I'm going to take a punch and I'm going to punch that little mark and I'm going to drill it out. Okay, so now I have the little hole location punched. You can see that little tiny mark. And that's just going to prevent the drill bit from wandering off. So if you have a center drill like one of these, you can use this to start the hole. That's what you're supposed to do, but you don't really have to do that if you have a big enough mark, because the drill bit will fit inside that little mark and then keep it from squirreling away from you. So I'm just going to drill the hole and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so here's the hole. You can see it's not very deep. It only goes, I don't know, like a 1/4 inch beneath the top surface. But that's all you have to do, because you can see like the little screw heads, they don't stick out very far, so that's all you need. And also the other thing to note is that the hole that I drilled is much bigger than this, because you've got a lot of room here. So you can use a drill bit that's big enough, as long as it doesn't break through the outside of the frame. Then nothing stops you from using this frame on any other gun. So that's really all there is to it. So this now should fit directly in there like that, and it does. There's no gap, nothing sticking out. Life is good. So now the other option is with certain frames, it's possible that the front screws will hit something, but if that's the case, all you got to do is the exact same modification in the front. You can use a file, you can use a drill, you can use whatever you want. So that's it. I forgot to mention, if you have a drill press like one of these, the old Craftsman drill press, this will make the task much easier. But if your frame is sticking out the top of the vise like this, what you'll actually have to do is hold on to it to keep it from shaking around. So you got to be really careful when you do that, because you don't want to drill into your hand, you don't want the vise to slip. It's a good idea to clamp the vise down to the table of the drill press. Just got to be safe while you're doing it. But this will make it a lot easier if you have that hardware available. Most people don't, so you got to do what you got to do. But that's really all there is to it. Okay, so there's the finished modification, and you can see it's installed on a grip frame just like that. It's really just that easy. All you have to do is drill the hole, and that's it. So don't be intimidated by it. It's not hard to do. I believe that's everything. So if you have any questions, just let us know. Until then, I think that's it. Cool, thanks. Bye.